Hi guys, it's Sheena from Teton Raptor Center and I'm here to give you all this week's patient update. So let's go ahead and get started. First up this week is Swainsons Hawk 425, and this bird has actually moved out of the ICU and into the PCU. She's able to get around really well in her enclosure and is able to get up onto the high perches in there. And she also just seems more comfortable with having more space, which is a really good sign for a bird with a potential wing injury. When you see them up on the highest perch in there, it's always a good sign because you know they're able to get up there even with that injury. Next up is Great Horned Owl 328, and this bird has been moved out to the flight barn where he's flight conditioning for release. Right now his flight looks really strong, symmetrical, it's silent, and then once he's in better muscular shape, because he does get out of breath really quickly, he'll start live prey testing. So we can hopefully get this bird out of the door soon and then open up this flight barn space to another bird. But here he is in flight. He's got really nice, strong, powerful flight. You can see he's able to turn really well, and this bird initially came in because he was emaciated, so nothing physically wrong with his wings. So that's exactly what we might expect with a bird that was just too weak to fly when we first found him. Next up is Red-Tailed Hawk 221, and this bird is progressing, but ultimately he does need to begin flight conditioning when the flight barn becomes available. Right now he's still sharing a mew with Red-Tailed Hawk 210, and the two of them seem to be getting along really well. But unfortunately, until that flight barn is freed up, there is no way we can condition him in the meantime. Here we have Red-Tailed Hawk 210, and this bird is actually going to be ready for release as soon as that wound on his left leg has healed. You can actually see in this photo the bandage that's on his leg, so we've been getting him out every few days to change that bandage, and every time we get him out it does look like it's improving, so that's always a good sign. Here we have Bald Eagle 210, and this bird is also in line for the flight barn, but right now she is molting out her feathers, so we want to make sure she grows in all those new feathers before we start flying her. And the wound that's on her cere, you can see the little bandage on top of her beak, is getting changed every few days and is looking really good so far. So we're going to keep that wound care up, and then once that wound is fully healed and her feathers have come in, we will begin flight conditioning with her again. Next up, we've got Golden Eagle 29, and this bird is currently taking a short hiatus from flight conditioning on the Creance line while avian flu is still on the rise. We just don't want to take the risk of flying him out in a field that's exposed with other birds and other waterfowl that use that field. So we're just being really safe and keeping this bird indoors until the epidemic is over. Next up, we've got Great Horned Owl 1112, and this bird is now living in the PCU, but is also in line for the flight barn. Big surprise, right? And since the east side of the flight barn has been converted into a quarantine zone for avian flu, it just limits the number of birds that we're able to house in the flight barn at one time. So until we've got more space, we do have some birds living in the PCU, but they will eventually get a turn in the flight barn. It just can't all happen at once. Last but not least is Golden Eagle 42, and I've got some bittersweet news to share with you all. She will be leaving Teton Raptor Center on May 19th to head to her home at the Ecotarium in Worcester, Massachusetts. And, you know, it's sad to see her go, but we all know that she's going to have a great life over there, and we're really excited to get her to her final home. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed learning more about our birds, and I look forward to talking with you all next week. If you want to do your part to help keep wild birds wild, check out our website at tetonraptorcenter.org where you can make a donation. Bye!